Everybody. It is Mike, your host of Thursday Morning Live, and I'm joined this morning by my good friend Terry Thompson. Terry, good morning. How's it going?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, Mike. Thank you for the opportunity to come on here and talk with you and share some value today.
Great. I'm looking forward to getting into our conversation. And just so everybody knows, we're here every Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. We spend maybe 15, 20 minutes just talking about a relevant topic, something that just maybe comes to mind that we talk about. So we don't have anything that's scripted. We don't have anything that's, really detailed, but we're going to talk this morning about mindset and contribution. How do we give back? Hey, Terry, before we jump into it and, find out who you are and what you're all about, here's what I want to know. And I ask every one of my guests this. Tell me in one word what best describes you.
Resilient. I am resilient. So here's the thing. Throughout my entire life, there's been a lot of things. I always kind of, if you know anything about my story, you know that I grew up within a military family, and I've always traveled around, and I've been around to all these different places. And no matter where I was always the new guy. And I always had to be able to get in there very quickly and bounce back. I had to be able to say goodbye and then say hello all at the same time. So that allowed me to have the knowledge, skills, and experience to be resilient, that no matter where I was, there I was, and I was able to get in and just make, have influence and have an impact. So for me, I've always been resilient.
What's interesting is you and I were talking before we went live this morning about how our stories, our lives are just really kind of a continual fluid story, right? That we have this story, but it's just gotten us to this point, and then beyond that. Why don't you share a little bit about you, who you are, where you've come from, your story, why you're doing what you're doing today?
Yeah, so so I grew up in a military family. My dad was in the military. My mom was married 4 times. 3 of them were military men. So I was always either in or around the military. And everywhere that I went, once again, there was a different way of life, a different way of doing things. And it gave me that ability to just be resilient, to learn new skills, new way of thinking, new way of doing things, because everywhere that I went, it was always something different. It was always something new. It was always something tremendously exciting. And I was able to take the best of everything that I did, no matter where I was, and put within my toolkit. And every one of those places holds a special place in my heart, because there's stories in each and every one of those places. Stories of success, stories of failure, story of, trying to fit in, not fitting in, being the new guy, getting picked on. All these different things was just always a part of my story. And I always maintained the best parts of those and put those once again within my toolkit, and I share those things. But as I got older, I was like, stories are powerful, and stories are those things that can build a bridge and connect the dots between you, the things that you've been through, the things that you've overcome, and how you can share that with other people. And you know what? It may be possible for them. It may resonate with them, because they're like, gosh, if Terry went through this and Terry overcame that, then it's okay for Mike. Mike can overcome that, because Mike experienced some of that as well too. And now I have an example of what something looks like, what somebody did.
Isn't it interesting how our story will resonate with certain people and won't resonate with others, and that's okay, right? I think that's what it's all designed for. And, I have a coaching client right now who, he was in a bad motorcycle accident a few years ago, and he's got some issues. And yesterday my conversation with him was, hey, why don't I connect you with Joe, a friend of mine who's been in a wheelchair, got a little bit worse than you, and you see if there's some synergy there that you might be able to learn something. So we always learn from other people. Why do you think your mindset's gotten to where it's at today, that you've had some of these hardships, some of the setbacks in life, but yet you have this mindset that is like you said, resilient, right? Where does the resilience come from?
It comes from my military background. Let me kind of paint the picture for you. Within the military, there's a lot of things that we have to do. And it's one of those things that it's not a matter of, do you want to do those things? Do you get to do those things? You have to do those things. And oftentimes anything you will discover within the military, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and you must be able to mitigate the risk across all spectrums and make sure that you're fully prepared. So for me, it was always diving deep. I strongly see this, and everywhere that I look, I see people that only go skin deep, that only go that superficial layer deep. They're not willing to dive deep within their own mind, their own life, their own capability, and just build that up, because, you know, everywhere that we go, there's opportunity. There tremendously is. There's opportunity, but people are not willing to dive deep into what it takes to achieve that success. And I always tell everybody, I was like, look, if you want to achieve success, you must be willing to dive into the suck, because before success, there's suck. Okay. And you have to be able to dive into that. And me, I have dove into a lot of suck, and that's the reason why I'm succeeding.
Hey, you know, when you talk about that suck, you know, something you mentioned this morning was, hey, I really like the way you're stepping up your social media game lately. And, you know, that conversation goes on in your mind a lot, right? When you do a live and one person shows up, or you do a live event and 4 people show up in the room, or, you know, you start to have that conversation about, hey, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. Right. Maybe my message really doesn't resonate. So getting through that, how do you know, what are your, because I know that you've gone through that. We can continue to go through that. And you run some really great rooms and things like that on Clubhouse, and your social media game is way up there. How do you go through that noise in your mind? How do you disseminate that that's not real and you move forward?
You know, so I'll touch on 2 things here, because you really kind of had 2 things that I want to dive in there. And one is numbers. Yeah, numbers are important, but I have the mindset of each one, reach one, each one, teach one. And then it just kind of goes and flows from there. So as long as I'm able to reach one, communicate with one, motivate, inspire, encourage, and empower one, I've done my job. Now look, Mike, man, I have stood in front of thousands of people and just like, you know, and put it out there. And I've stood in front of one person and changed that person's life. And that's what it means to me. As long as I'm able to change one life, I did my job. Whether it's one, whether it's 1,000, don't get wrapped around the numbers. Your job is to put your information out there, to put your knowledge, your skills, your experience, that conversation out there. And when it hits the mark with that one person will never forget the way you made that person feel, and it will continue. They'll go reach one person. And that's where that law of attraction kind of comes into place. And then, you know, when it comes down to creating, you had another one in there. I'm sorry, I got off on that one. I got into that one right there. What was the second part again?
Yeah, you know, I was just talking about, you know, when we do a room or we're trying to deliver content, and you know, you have it's that self-talk in our mind about the conversation that, you know, we suck. And yeah.
Okay, got it. Now, all right, I'm back on track now. And and so when you get inside your own head, here's the thing. I had a great conversation with Sean Swarner a while back, and he was talking about the voices that are in your head. And he actually has a name for his voice, which is Cooper. And I was like, man, that's great. He's got the voices in his head. He even named the voice in his head. I don't have a name for the voices in my head, by the way, but you have to deal with those things, because each and every day you will tell yourself all these things. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Why me? All these different things that you will question yourself. But at the end of the day, you just need to understand one thing. You have a voice. And when you speak up, you can speak out. And when you stand up, you can stand out. And that's the thing. But you yourself must take action. See, here's the deal. I'm not always tied to the results. I'm more tied into the action that I can take, because results may vary. Whether those results are big, small, positive, or negative, they are in fact results. It's up to me to look at those results, figure out what went right, what went wrong, what needs improvement, modify, tweak, or change, continue taking action, because I can control my action, but I might not always be able to control the results. So I focus on action, and that's what helps me overcome that right there.
100%. So I remember one night being listening in Evan's room on Clubhouse, the Unbreakable Stories, And I want to say that it was Marie Forleo or
Mhm.
someone like that. But, you know, her phrase is, I am, right? Uh,
Mhm.
and when you take I am and say, and try to put a word with I am and you try to put suck, I am suck. I mean, that just doesn't even sound right, right? But if you go, yeah, I am unbreakable, or I am uh, awesome at what I do, I am a hero, you know, now all of a sudden it starts to change that whole mindset. How do you feel about affirmations and those positive inputs, standing in front of the mirror and saying, I am unbreakable?
I love it. And so I do. I have 3 affirmations that I get up every morning. And it's a part of my morning routine. I will stand there in front of that mirror and I will look at myself and I'll be like, I can, I will, I must. Whatever
Mm.
you say after I, you will believe, you will take action on. So if you say, I suck, I'm horrible, I'm no good, you're going to believe that. But if you say, you know what, I'm strong, I'm resilient, I have what it takes, I am unbreakable, I am knowledgeable, I am whatever it is, you start to believe that. But you have to tell yourself, you have to be consistent. I'll share a quick message with you. Somebody asked me one time, they said, Terry, why are you so motivated? Why are you so inspiring? I was like, I'm not. There's lots of times where I'm not motivated. There's lots of times where I'm not inspired. There's lots of times that I don't feel like doing what it is that I do. But you know what the difference is? I'm committed. There's a difference between being motivated, inspired, interested, or committed. See, if you're interested in something, you'll rely on motivation or inspiration. But if you're committed, you will do whatever it takes to achieve success.
Yeah, you know, I think you know I've heard a number of people go, I just got pissed off and said I wasn't going to live this way anymore, and I was
Mhm.
going to change my life. And I think that people get to that place, and two things happen: either they quit or they go forward and really make the change. And I want to circle back to your original word of who you are, and that's the resilience, right?
Mhm.
How do we become more and more resilient? So I believe that it's those things we continue to put into our head and in our mind.
100%. Every day we are doing things, we're taking action. But then again, at the opposite of that, there's people that are not doing anything every single day,
Yeah.
except for moaning, groaning, griping, complaining. And those people right there will not achieve success because they're focused on the wrong thing. Remember, what you focus on gets results, whether positive or negative. And if you focus on the positive and take appropriate action in order to achieve those positive results, you will achieve a result. You focus on that negative, well, nothing's going to happen. You're going to stay right there where you are. You're going to continuously focus on the wrong thing. So, what you focus on gets results, and that's positive or negative.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. So it goes either way. So listen, let's talk about this a little bit. Let's talk about contribution because you're a big contributor, just in general, right? You run Evan's Room and run the Unbreakable Stories. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about that whole program and how people find you and find the room and where all that's at.
Awesome. So I'm going to kind of break it down like this right here. Gary Henderson, I met him on Clubhouse. He's a real big guy on Clubhouse, and he talks about the 4 C's, right? And contribute is one of those 4 C's.
Mhm.
And it comes down to this right here. It comes down to consuming, creating, collaborating, or contributing. I love contributing because that gives back to other people. It's like the book Built to Serve by Evan Carmichael. I love serving other people, and the best way that you can serve other people is to contribute. See, here's the thing: a lot of people are in that consuming mode. As a society, we are just heavily into consumption. Consume, consume. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough information. I don't have enough whatever. We're consuming, consuming, always consuming. Where the real power is not only in the consuming, that's important. We must fill ourselves so that we can give back to others. But where you really gain that strength, that power, is where you start to contribute. When you give back to others, that right there is a feeling that you can't get anywhere else other than to contribute, other than to give back to others. So when I give back to others, I feel empowered when I do that. And when I see others take that action on what I've contributed with and given back, man, it just comes back full circle for me. And I love it.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like that when you walk in a room that they don't see you, but they see what you do, right?
Mm.
Who you are at your heart, at your soul, and what really inspires them or others, you know. So I think that's a big thing. Hey, there's some big things coming up in the new year for you know, Unbreakable Stories and Terry, and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so Unbreakable Stories, it's unbreakablestories.com. I put the link in the private chat there. And over at unbreakablestories.com, we're working on sharing stories. So we've had some amazing people that have purchased the Unbreakable shirt that I have on here. They've already started beginning to share their story. And that's what we're doing. We are sharing through the power of stories that if it's possible for you, it can be possible for somebody else. Because here's the deal. You have a story to tell that could motivate, inspire, encourage, and empower other people through your struggles, your hardships, your roadblocks, the stress, the anxiety, the things that you've experienced within your life. And you know what? You didn't stay there. You took appropriate action and you got on the other side of all of that. You achieved victory. You achieved success. And it is through the power of that story that you share that could lift somebody else up and show somebody else, once again, if it's possible for you, it can be possible for them. We'd love to share your story. It's unbreakablestories.com.
Yeah. And I will tell you that there's been some very, very impactful stories. People I've met, not only listening in on a clubhouse room, but also those outside of the room conversations where, you know, I think the greatest thing about that app right now is that you can go in there and you work, you know, take a look at who's in the room, look to your right, look to your left, look up and down, because you don't know who you're sitting next to right there.
Right.
And, you know, you reach out and you make those connections. And I think it's about connection and how we convey what's happened, what we've done in our life as connection. So
it's real time, and I love it. I mean, I'm telling you, Clubhouse. So our club is Unbreakable Stories on Clubhouse. And if you're not on Clubhouse, I would highly recommend that you get on Clubhouse. I know, Mike, you and I talk to Carl all the time. There's many people that I've had the opportunity to talk to, interview, interact with each and every night. And we do go live every night at around 6:00 p.m. Eastern. And those conversations, oh my goodness, we've been able to help so many different people just to interact and engage and get their feedback, their perspective. We'll bring a topic, you know, and we've been able to link people with people. The other day, I'll give you an example. We had somebody who was having a bad day. They were struggling. And was like, you know what? I think it would be great if you connected with this person. And in real time, right there in real time, we were able to connect two people together and they helped each other. And, you know, I'd like to believe that they kind of saved each other as well, too. And that's the power of Clubhouse, those real time communications, interactions, engagements. I love it.
Yeah, you never know when a smile, a blink of an eye, a thought, a comment, just a knowing glance can really help somebody and even help somebody off the ledge, right?
Yeah.
People, and here we are, you know, so we talk about this, but we're at a time of year right now. This is a holiday week, right? Can you believe the year's over? We're at Christmas already. And here we are, you know, and there's those things that go on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hard to get in a Christmas spirit here a little bit. There's no snow on the ground. Now, I like snow. I like it the first time it snows after that. So I'm not really crazy about it, but it's kind of funny. I'm in Chicago. Where are you at this morning?
Virginia.
Okay.
It's cold. It's like 30 or 40 degrees outside. No snow yet, but it is a little cold.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So I want to circle back. I want you to, the original word we started this show with was resilience. How do people find resilience, Terry?
You know, if you want to build resilience, you have to toughen yourself up. You truly do, because the ability to bounce back faster, quicker, harder, it's a muscle. It's like bodybuilders. It's like world-class athletes. If you want to be able to bounce back and you want to recover after anything that happens within your life, you have to build up that muscle. You have to build up the strength, the endurance, and it all starts right there within your mind. and then it extends beyond your mind into your arms, your legs, your body. And you must be able to feel yourself every single day, because it's that knowledge, it's that skills, it's that experience, it's those things that you fill yourself up with that allow you to bounce back even faster. Because if you've never experienced something, you won't know how to face it. So you must be able to put yourself out there and face those things, talk about those things, discover those things, learn those things. And then each and every time when something happens, like, hey, I remember that. I read that. I saw that. I saw somebody else do that. This happened to me before. And each and every time that you face particular situations, you will be able to bounce back faster, quicker, harder, tougher, whatever label you want to put on it. See, here's the thing. I've put myself through a lot of things throughout my entire life. And that right there allows me to be more resilient each and every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Well spoken. Hey, Terry, I appreciate you being here this morning. Why don't you tell people how they find you, find you on Clubhouse and in the world, and how they can connect with you?
So I have everything over on my website, which is terrywadethompson.com. You'll see everything. You'll see Unbreakable Stories. You'll see my books. You'll see my training programs, things that I'm working on. Once again, that's terrywadethompson.com. I have a couple of freebies for you there. So if you want to know how to have a great day, I've got this free book right there for you on how to have a great day. And I break down 10 things, 10 action items that you can take every single day that will help you have a great day. I also have my very first book that I wrote many years ago. I first published it back in 2013, and I have that available for free right there. It's called Leadership Solved. And in that book right there, I talk about the 5 rights. You have to get it. You have to read it, because anything within life that you want to do, you must adhere to those 5 rights. And you will, once you discover those 5 rights, you will truly understand that you are possible. Once again, that's terrywadethompson.com. I look forward to connecting with you. All my social media is there as well, too. Look forward to connecting with you. Look forward to giving you those 2 free books and connecting with all the things that I'm involved in. Thank you.
Hey, Terry, appreciate you being here this morning. Love your energy. Love what you're doing. Love the contribution that you're putting out into the world. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room for a minute, say goodbye to everybody, and I'll be right back with you. Okay.
Awesome.
Hey, everybody. So welcome to Thursday morning live. And this morning, my guest was Terry Wade Thompson, and we talked about resilience, right? I asked Terry at the beginning of the show, hey, what's that one word, what that one key thing that someone could key in on? And it's resilience. And it's not something we can go buy at the store or get under the Christmas tree this week, but it is that resilience of where you're going to go, where do you want to go, and how do you get there? You got to make that choice every single day. So listen, we're here every Thursday morning. Make the choice to be here on Thursday morning with us. 15, 20 minutes, just get that little pound of knowledge and information, maybe some energy to help you spiral on your day. But I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and happy holidays here this week. I hope that you enjoy time with your family, that you get some great downtime, some relaxing time as we move into the new year. Start thinking about what that's going to look like for you, what that new year is going to look like, and how you're going to make a difference moving forward, maybe make a difference in someone else's life and in your own life. So listen, if I can ever answer any questions, be of any help, reach out. Don't hesitate to. You can reach me through my website at mycoreintentions.com or Mike at mycoreintentions.com. And I'll be more than happy to spend some time with you. Look forward to seeing you. We'll be here again next week. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody.